3 or 4 to go together. The restless man, the uphill climb, the path of wildness. It's 3. And then, yeah, that's it. Maybe I could tie on the next one, the risk of avoiding risk. But let's stick with that. The restless man. A lot of us are restless. We want something out of life. And I think that's, again, a biological imperative to help us to reach out beyond our borders. And this is why the young are particularly restless, because it's their health and vivacity that will help them to push past the limits to find new territory. Literally, back in the old hunter-gatherer day, troop of young teenage boys, young 20s, young men saying, today we're not going to hunt in the usual spot. We're going to go over the mountain and see what's over there. Finding new game, new water sources, and people to trade with, etc. Resources to plunder, whatever the case may be. That fact of what causes our species to expand is kind of innate within us, particularly young men, to want to push out, to have adventures in life. And there's something to be said for doing that at a young age when you have that want. If you don't do it, it tends to haunt us for all of our lives. And it gets difficult, and then impossible to do at a later age. You reach a point, and like I said earlier, your feet are so dug into the sand, you're so familiar with everything around you, the beach blanket, the place where the kids played, etc., that you can never leave. And you die you might die well, but you also die having left a longing that you never attempted to do anything about. And that hurts, possibly, but in the end, who gives a damn? Because you're dead and you don't know otherwise. But anyway, while you're still alive, if you're a restless man, then I recommend stepping upon the path of wildness. It's a way to move forward and into and through one life chapter into another one. Best to do it when you're young, typically after your college years are done. Although going to college alone is a step onto the path of wildness. And give yourself from 25 to 30 as your own years, 5 years all to yourself, and then come back and start your career. And then pepper your life with path of wildness endeavors, if you can. The next one, the third in that threefer, is the Great Life Adventure. It's what results of stepping onto the path of wildness. You wind up with a great life adventure that can be either big or medium or small. Yeah, you can have a great life adventure over a weekend. You can have also a great life adventure over a course of an entire season of life, whatever the case may be. If you do it, it pays dividends all your life. If you don't, you'll probably become maybe a little dull, and you'll become maybe someone who has a aching yearning, scratch that you can't itch late in life. Maybe a little gardening, maybe a little RVing, maybe a little red sports car. Won't some of these do it? I'll keep trying. That's the risk, which is the next principle, the risk of avoiding risk. There's 5 surface level risks of life. These are education, career, home, family, and security, saving for our old age. It's easy to attend to those. They're hard, but it's easy because all of society, including our families, are geared towards that. The tricky one is the deep risk, the risk of stepping upon the path of wildness and having a great life adventure. Doing that is hard, scary. People are going to hold you back. They're going to grab onto your sleeves and say, well, where are you going? What are you talking about? That's scary. That's dangerous. Nobody does that. Look, we got a beach. We got a blanket. We got the kids will play right over here. Just stay here. Grandpa's right over there. See, he's buried up to his thighs. And here's Dad right here. He's buried up to his knees. There's a spot you can stand right over there. You too can join it. And say, no, I think I'm gonna go over the sand dunes and see what's up there. Or around the bend in the corner, and the tides, though, I think I can shimmy around the rocks to the other side. No, it's dangerous. Don't do that. That's what typically happens. If you wonder what's around that corner, you better go find out. They may be right. You may never come back. You may die. You may be the tide will come up and block you out and sweep you into the sea. That's a good end, by the way. There's no shame in dying young on a great life adventure. It's quite fine. It used to be I couldn't say that. I would say something more cautionary. But now I'm death is eternal and inevitable. What's it going to make? What difference does it make if it's a few years, or maybe a few dozen years? Now or later, it doesn't matter in the long run. What matters is how we engage in our life throughout our life. Now that program changes a little bit once we make the commitment to have a family and particularly to raise children into the world. Then we have some obligation to stick around and see things through and to exercise some restraint. That's why I recommend doing this, taking these awful risks at a young age, and when we're single, young, broke, have nothing to lose, dumb, foolhardy, and able to maybe recover from whatever the consequences are of the efforts that we made, the risks that we take. Well, the Great Life Adventure is a very worthwhile thing if you are a man or woman who feels that restlessness and wants to assuage the deep level risk before moving into the attendance to the surface level risks of life. It's a program.